Why ONVIF? Why ONVIF is so important in that industry? The most important thing is to be able to have different devices from different manufacturers be able to work together. Imagine that the complete security system involves a lot of different components. It involves access control, maybe some cameras, maybe some recorders, maybe some VMS, some CMS, and other devices. And it's quite difficult for you to be able to guarantee, but each of these devices are perfectly integrated. If you need to change a device and you can only pick the device from one manufacturer, that's greatly limit your choices. So the ONVIF is very important to ensure the volatility, the freedom of solution. You can pick a device from a manufacturer if a manufacturer has a great PTZ camera, and a device from another manufacturer if he has a great thermal cameras, for example. But multiply your opportunities to select the right solution. And what are the risks if the device you use are not ONVIF compliant? Basically, if there's no ONVIF, then you need to rely on a dedicated integration to have a device working together. Usually for one manufacturer, all its devices will be compatible with each other. But if the devices are from different manufacturers and there's no ONVIF and no integration, dedicated integration, then it's very likely that the device will not work together or only partially. And if there's no ONVIF, a manufacturer may block the integration with other brands on purpose to force the customer to have only one solution from one manufacturer and buy everything from that manufacturer. For example, here we have the brand C that already installed at the customer site, but it doesn't support any ONVIF. So if you want to add the VMS then or more cameras, the only solution you have is to buy more products from brand C. What about VMS and ONVIF? The biggest VMS directly use ONVIF profiles, or they rely on some part of ONVIF for the integration to make it faster and easier. And as I said previously, if VMS is not using ONVIF at all, then you need specific driver for each device of each manufacturer. So you need to check the compatibility between VMS and security devices. One more thing, something I haven't talked about before. There's an ONVIF device and ONVIF client. So an appliance can support ONVIF profile as a client or as a device, but what's the difference between them? The difference is quite important because on one side for a security appliance you have ONVIF device, which is when the appliance exposes one or multiple ONVIF services, and the ONVIF client on the other side is when the appliance use the ONVIF services. So let's make a quiz. Following the previous definition, what a camera is. A camera is an ONVIF device because it exposes ONVIF services. What about a VMS? VMS will be an ONVIF client because it uses ONVIF services. What about NVR? Is it a device or is it a client? You may think no, but because VMS is client, so NVR will also be client. But in fact, NVR can be both. It can be a client and a device because it can expose and use ONVIF services. And for example, NVR can connect to a camera to get the information, the ONVIF services, but NVR can also be under a VMS and then expose ONVIF services to be compatible with the VMS. What's next now for Vivotech and ONVIF? An important step that we just made is to have implementation of ONVIF Profile T on our new device and latest firmwares, which allow the support for more function, including the video codec H.265. As well, a new thing is Vivotech NVR, the ND NVR that we have with the latest firmware 3.4. Support now the ONVIF device Profile S. Previously, it was already supporting ONVIF client Profile S. So now that the ND-NVR by Vivotech support the device profile S. It can be integrated, for example, under Genetec VMS. Why is it useful to have such integration? It's because if ND-NVR by Vivotech can be integrated under Genetec, then the cost of ND-NVR is much lower than the cost of Windows Server plus Genetec software. Thank you for your attention.